Hello, this is Chris from Absolute Music, and today we've got Dom here from Steinberg. Hello.
Hello guys.
How are you keeping all right? Nice to see you.
Good to be here.
Today we have the shiny new interfaces from Steinberg, the new UR range, and Dom's just going to take us through the benefits, all the inputs, all the outputs, and basically what's new on them and why you should get one, basically. So I'll let you continue.
Absolutely. So this is the UR-C range of interfaces, brand new. You might find this shape familiar. If you remember the UR22 Mark II interface that Steinberg makes, very, very popular interface. This looks very similar on the outside, but on the inside is quite a different beast. Because we have brand new chips in there, the SSP3 chip that gives us lower latency, but we also have brand new converters. So this can go up to 192 kilohertz, 32-bit integer, which means that the converters are capable of recording in 32-bit. You don't do it in software, you can actually record at 32-bit.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's number one, and there are many other things that make these really powerful in terms of connectivity, in terms of usability. We still have the same full metal chassis, so nice. You can really abuse these guys. They will take a beating, no problem. Now the other thing is, these are future-proof. So these now support USB-C, which means that you can plug it into any of the newer computers like PC, Macs, even iOS devices. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. But basically, if you use a USB-C connection, that means you can power these without any external power supply. So this can be powered with the USB-C, and also the UR44C, which is this guy right here. And this, you can have 4 mic preamps, 2 line-ins in the back, and 6 line outputs, MIDI I/O with phantom power for all the preamps, all through a USB-C cable. And you can even power them using an iPad Pro. Fantastic. Which is pretty impressive. You can be completely mobile. You want to go and record your band and just bring an iPad with you, and you don't have like a power source, no problem. You want to stream live, again, we can show this. You can stream live using this without any external power supply. Yeah. Another thing that I think is very, very relevant these days is that all of them have MIDI I/O.
Yeah, for the price that was really good. That was a big selling feature of the original.
Exactly. And I think nowadays it's very relevant because many people are using analog synths, you know, modular synths, all these things, and MIDI I/O is really important.
It is, yeah.
So for this at this price range, sometimes you don't get to see these little connections right there, which are, you know, really welcome.
Exactly.
I mean, I really enjoy using MIDI with my analog synth. So the other very cool thing is, because now we have more power due to the USB-C protocol, the preamps are louder, but also we can have DSP FX on all of the interfaces. Right. So even the smaller one, the UR22C, you have DSP FX on board, 0 latency, you can monitor with compressors, EQs, reverbs, amp simulations, and you can of course record them as well. And you can stream with them, which is pretty cool.
Incredible, yeah, very nice.
So yeah, it's they're in general they're really, really powerful, very versatile. That's the most important thing. So you can start from a very compact one like this one, which, by the way, 2-ins, 2 D-Pre preamps. High-Z inputs for guitars. You also have a mono button right here, which was a user request from the UR22 range of the interfaces. And basically what this allows you to do is, let's say you have just one mic plugged in and the other input is not used. You can hit mono and you listen to your voice on both, you know, left and right channels.
I see, understand.
So,
we got on here. You got your little mix at the front where you can listen to your DAW. Quite a lot of people don't know what that is on an interface. So it's basically just listening. If you're on input on the hard left, you're listening straight to the input.
Straight to the input.
There's no latency that way. Whereas if you're full on that way, probably show it to the camera in a minute. When you're on this way, you're listening to it after it's gone through
your DAW, basically. I call this the more me knob. So, you know, when you start recording a singer and they say, can I hear more of myself? Well, it's very easy to do this on this interface. You just go like this and say, okay, or you can just listen to yourself if you just want to do that.
Brilliant.
But it's a very easy way. Of course, both of these have their own control panel where you can use it on the Mac, PC, also on iOS. Even on an iPhone, you can basically change the settings of these interfaces. It's really, really powerful.
Excellent. That's really good. And there's just 2 in the range. There isn't like a bigger rack unit or anything.
Yes, there is the 816C, which is, it's getting released right now, so we don't have it yet.
Okay.
But it has 8 mic pre's, it has ADAT, it's a more kind of studio oriented interface.
Record a big drum kit or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
Again, with deep pre's, all these things. But this, I would say this is a really nice, solid, portable interface that is capable of pretty much most of the things. This is a really nice a project studio interface. Record your band live. It has lots of inputs, lots of connectivity. And then, of course, if you want like more inputs, we have the 816.
So these will work with any DAW, but obviously they come bundled with Cubase LE.
Absolutely. They come with Cubase AI.
Right.
And you also get Cubase's LE for your iPad.
Yeah, it's that way around.
So it's actually a very good piece of software. You can do a lot of stuff with Cubase AI. And as you said, they can work with every DAW on the market, obviously. But when you go inside Cubase, you get a lot of integration when it comes to the DSP effects, all the different capabilities that you have on these interfaces. So to begin with, we of course have a mixer application. This is the UR44C DSP Mixed FX app, where you can set up your low cut filters. You can set up your phase reversal, your effects. So I can pull up my channel strip, and I can morph. I can use a morphing channel strip to create different EQ curves, compression types, all these things. But the great thing with Cubase is that you don't need to have this app open all the time to do all these different things. You can go straight into Cubase, and when you load let's say a microphone, and you want to record a microphone, and you set up a mono channel, like what I've done here, you can say, okay, I want to actually activate a high pass filter, or I want to just reverse my phase. Maybe I can, if I turn on the 48 volt phantom power, I can see that it's on, so I know where everything goes. And the other thing is I can immediately go and activate my DSP FX, so maybe I want to add my, like we did before, the channel strip, or maybe I want to change this into a guitar amp.
It looks like there's quite a few presets on each one of those, like the compressor, for people that are still unsure of how to properly use a compressor. And
absolutely, this is extremely useful. I'm going to show you the exact same thing on the iPad in a second, but basically this is a very useful plugin. It's zero latency, but it's extremely useful if you want to record a singer and they want to have a little bit of comfort, not only reverb, but also a little bit of compression, a little bit of EQ. You can choose to record these effects or just monitor through them.
Great, that really helps.
So it's really powerful. And of course, if I want, I can just add some reverb over here. So I can add some comfort reverb for my singer. And I'm good to go. I can just straight away go ahead and record, and I don't need to have a separate app running in the background to do all these things. I can do it straight from the Cubase inspector.
So does the interface run the power of the plugins?
Absolutely.
It does, so it takes off the pressure off of your computer
exactly
itself. Right,
and these are really high quality DSP effects, which means that you can run them if you want through the DSPs. So they're zero latency, you can monitor through them, no problem. But then if you want to use them in a mix, you can also use them natively, which means that you can add as many as you want. You're not completely constrained by the power of the DSP that's on board right here.
I see.
Which is the best of both worlds.
Excellent, very nice.
So maybe we can switch and show how this works on the iPad and the iPhone, because it also works on the iPhone as well.
Excellent. Okay, let's dive in.
Yeah, so this is the DSP Mixed FX app, and you can use this on the iPad and on the iPhone. Now, the way that we've connected this is just using one single USB-C cable. And right now, the iPad Pro powers the UR44C, which means all 4 mic preamps with phantom power, 2 headphone outs, and the MIDI I/O, all going through that. And when we come to the app itself, we can do quite a few things. First of all, we can see if we have activated phantom power. As you can see, we have activated phantom power for the first 2 mic inputs. The other 2 are not powered right now. But if I turn it on, you can see that we have phantom power for the other 2 inputs as well. And basically right here you have a full mixer section. So to begin with, we have our meter bridge right here, so we can see our levels really clearly. So if you're recording a band, you're recording a performance, you can have all the inputs straight away right there. And we have our high pass filter. We have our phase reversal. So if you're recording drums or multiple mics, you can reverse the phase straight away from the app.
Indeed. And so this first one, for anyone that doesn't know it, this just cuts off all the bottom end from the microphone, so it's a much cleaner signal, isn't it?
Exactly. You can get rid of rumble, you can get rid of, like, I don't know, air conditioning sounds, like really low end frequencies. The great thing is that if you go to the settings, you can even set up the frequency of your low cut filter. So you can set it to 40 Hertz, 60 Hertz, 80 Hertz, up to 120 Hertz. So it's really versatile. So right below this section, we have our DSP FX section where you can select the effect that you want. In this case, I'm going to fire out the channel strip. And this is a really cool effect because it allows you to get to a sound very, very quickly. So if you want, you can just use this morphing knob right here, and I can get like more mid-range, I can get like a smiley curve, I can go and have more low end or more top end. So if I'm recording like an acoustic guitar or like pop vocal or maybe a bass guitar, it's very easy. It gives you different compression settings, different EQ settings. But if you know what you're doing and you want to dial in your own settings, you can still go and select your EQ settings or your compressor settings with full attack release ratio, all the good stuff, everything's there. And of course, you can choose to either just monitor through the effects on your DAW, in this case you can use Cubases, or you can actually record the effects onto your audio channel, which is really, really versatile. Of course, you can have 2 of these effects, and you can also have a send reverb. In this case, I'm going to start adding this lovely RevX reverb. And these are really high quality algorithms, so if I turn it up, you will see I have everything from reverb time to delay, we have a decay section, we have the room size, you can change all these things, and we have 3 algorithms, so you have whole, you have room, and plate. So if I change to plate, the reverb algorithm changes, and let's try the plate now. And of course I can do all the regular stuff. I can change my level, I can change my solo states, I can pan the channels left and right. All these things are there available, and they're available for every channel. We have 4 preamps, and then we have the line-ins in the back. The other very cool thing is that you have 2 headphone mixes, so you can have a mix for my headphones right here, and then if you are the talent, we can go to mix number 2 and can have a completely separate mix. Maybe you might want the DAW feed a little bit lower in your case, and there's a lot of flexibility if you consider that this is an iPad app. And all these things you can do on the iPhone app as well. And the last thing that I want to mention that's really, really cool is that you have a loop back button right there, which basically allows you to record the audio coming out of your inputs and your DAW. So if you want to do tutorial videos, if you want to do live streaming on Instagram or on Facebook, on YouTube, you can do all this using all the internal effects. So it's really, really powerful. It's great if you want to basically take the entire output of the interface and use it in any way, on a video, live stream.
Of course.
Now, if we move into something like Cubases, again, You don't need to set up anything. Cubase immediately recognizes the UR44C as an interface or the UR22C, and then you can set up an audio channel, select your input. As you can see, we have 6 inputs right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 preamps, and then we have 5 and 6 for the line inputs in the back. So again, 0 setup, and you can start recording an entire band performance, for example, on the iPad straight away. So for example, if I want to record my mic preamp number 1, I can go into my inputs right here, select input number 1, and I can start recording straight away. And of course, we can either monitor through the DSP FX or actually record it on the app itself.
So it's slightly different for connecting to the iPhone. How would you go around doing that?
Well, that's a very good point, because basically the older devices, like I mean, this is an iPhone 10 and it doesn't have a USB-C. Even the newer iPhones don't have a USB-C. Yeah. So it's actually very simple if you want to use it with an iPhone. All you need to do is, let's say we want to use this UR22C on my iPhone 10. I can just power it using a simple power bank like what I have right here. And I'm going to plug it into the 5-volt input in the back. Then all I have to do is just make sure that I'm getting the power from the 5-volt input right there.
Okay.
And then we just plug in our interface into the iPhone.
And this is a Apple connection kit that you've got on.
This is just a simple Apple connection kit, so that it transforms this USB cable into a lightning cable, and that's it. So as you can see, when you connect it straight away, the USB LED lights up. They're stable. That means that now the UR22C is the audio interface for my iPhone. And as you can see, I can do exactly the same things. I can open the DSP Mixed FX app. I can open my channel strip. I can dial in my settings. It works exactly in the same way. And I can have my loop back right there, so I can immediately stream on Instagram TV. I can go on Facebook. I can go on YouTube. It's all right there. I can go and say I want to check out my reverb settings. So it's a really, really powerful combination. And again, I'm fully mobile. I'll just need a power bank, like your mobile phone power bank will do. It's very easy to set up. There's no setup actually, it's just plug and play.
So that's the new features of the new Steinberg URC interfaces. Thank you very much for coming down.
Thanks so much, Chris.
See you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching.